in the all-in scenario, we gave our best. We traded away everything we had to get the best players available. We made it to the Super Bowl, but did not win it. So how would a scenario of rebuilding the team from the beginning look like? It's rebuild time, and I traded away Kirk Cousins and Christian Darrisaw for a first and second round pick to the Niners. They were one of the only teams who are interested in Kirk Cousins. So, well, maybe not the most realistic, but still, at least we got 2 draft picks for them. Adam Thielen, also one of our older wide receivers. Ravens were interested for a second round pick. And then I traded away Xavier Woods and our strong safety veteran Harrison Smith, actually for a first and third round pick. So also Browns a little bit paying too much, I guess. But Harrison Smith won't be a long-term solution. Same for Adam Thielen, Kirk Cousins, Christian Darrisaw is only backup. And also Anthony Barr is on the older side of the team. I traded him away and traded also away the first round pick that I just got from the Browns. Also a 7th round pick to trade for the Broncos' first round pick. And also Sheldon Richardson, one of the older defensive tackles. Again, trade with the Browns. And I got a 2nd, 5th, and 7th round pick. So that's why I was interested in trading with the Denver Broncos. They're currently having the worst record in the NFL. I'm hoping that this pick is top 3 pick. And also in addition with us, maybe if we're down performing too well here, we're having 2 top 10 picks, which would be really, really good. And also the Niners first round pick. Let's see in which direction they are going. Depth chart, the O-line looks really good. I was also not planning to trade away players there. Rebuild is not about trading away every good player you have, but rather trading away players who are not part of the long-term solution. O-line, as seen in the other scenarios, are our long-term solution. Same for Justin Jefferson. I'm not even dreaming about giving away him. And defensively, not yet planning to trade away Michael Pierce or Daniil Hunter. Also Eric Hendricks, Patrick Peterson, every one of them not the youngest player, but still could help us to build a good foundation for the team on the defensive side. And when bringing in younger talent next year, that may help us to get better and build this team up from the start again. Well, after the 3-3 start, we went 2-9. Not the best start, but that was expected after trading away our best players. And we were actually still better than the Detroit Lions, finishing 5-12 on the year. Denver Broncos with only 4 wins, so that trade was not the worst. We should have the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th pick since the Texans and Lions also have 4 wins. And the Eagles, well, worst team in the NFL. And Packers are Super Bowl champions, so that sounds familiar looking at the other scenarios. Also familiar that we're not able to defend the pass and that Dalvin Cook is really, really good. third best running back in the league in terms of stats with 700 yards and 20 touchdowns. And Kellen Mond, on the other hand, is not the answer. 7 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, less than 50% completed passes. So we need to look for a new quarterback. Justin Jefferson leading the team in terms of yards, but only 4 touchdowns. Danielle Hunter, our sack leader, and Patrick Peterson with 5 interceptions. Well, Dalvin Cook is in the Pro Bowl. No surprises here. And other than him, also Eric Kendricks and Michael Pierce are representing the Vikings in the Pro Bowl. Bad year, of course. It's just the start of the rebuild. We set the foundation by acquiring draft picks, so let's directly spend them. What's a rebuild? I mean, is there a definition? Does it mean to get really, really bad to get good again? I don't think so. I mean, we got some assets in terms of draft picks. Last year, we traded away big contracts, older players, but we were not too bad. And I would say that my hopes are up for this season because we're not going to be bad. In free agency, I signed Evan McPherson, kicker, 79 overall. Pretty cheap deal, front loaded since we have some cap space. Corn Elder, cornerback, 86 overall. Pretty expensive contract for the first years. I was impressed by his 4 interceptions for Detroit, and I wanted to heavily invest in our secondary. In addition to Corn Elder, I also signed Marshawn Lattimore in free agency, 87 overall. Pretty cheap contract for his overall, I would say. In terms of stats, also 4 interceptions for the Saints. And I also signed a guard, 82 overall, and Hassan Reddick. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I overpaid way too much. That's the maximum amount for edge rushers. And also his stats are not the best. But we're having cap room for this and next year. So I really wanted to get a second edge rusher next to Danielle Hunter. Let's see if Hassan Reddick can be that guy. I also made some in-draft trades, so I spent all of our first round picks, so 3 first round picks, but one of our second round picks I turned into a first round pick next year. Patriots went to the Super Bowl, so that pick was pretty cheap to trade for. Let's hope that they are going to be bad. And the Packers second round pick, also in the Super Bowl, also pretty cheap to trade for. But looking at the draft, it's a very, very good one. And I mean, I know this draft class that has been the first draft class also for the other 2 scenarios cannot change that. But I have recorded the other scenarios a few weeks ago, so did not know everyone, got lucky at some points. But of course, I mean, I knew some players. First and foremost, John Brinkley. He had a 7.8 grade on my scouting sheet. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out my draft video where I'm explaining how I'm doing scouting and how I use Excel to improve at least the amount of information I'm getting on those players. 86 overall. He will be a day 1 starter. Drafted him 2nd overall after the Eagles took the quarterback I wanted. But I just took another one, number 6 overall, 82 rating. His arm was pretty bad. I knew that he had an F grade, but outstanding accuracy and intelligence. Reminds me a little bit on Everson, the quarterback we have in the Texans Rebuild Series. But he should be good in terms of short accuracy. And also only 20 years old. Let's see if he can be our long-term starter. And of course, way cheaper than Kirk Cousins was. The 3rd first round pick, I traded up a few spots after I saw that the Raiders needed a linebacker because I wanted to get Edward Salcido. Also good grades, but for him I already knew that he's going to be good. And with good, I mean really good. 87 overall, 86 tackling. I didn't know the rating for some other players. Robert Sperry, for example, 2nd round pick. I drafted him mainly because he was the same college than our quarterback, so they're going to get reunited. Both playing for the Vikings, and I mean 78 overall, also not too bad. Another second round pick, maybe not the best, but still helpful for us on linebacker, Benjamin Hinson, 72 overall, with more than average speed for linebacker, I would say. Also a second round pick, also good for depth on defensive tackle, especially with the strength. Third round pick, Patrick Dupree, he dropped because of off-field issues. 76 overall, let's hope that he can keep those off-field issues down and really help our team. Fourth round pick, one of the better ones, Benjamin Gonzalez, also didn't know him before that, just got lucky there, had a good scouting grade and dropped a little bit in the draft, so I drafted him way too late. Fifth round pick, Michael Odom. I think I don't need to say too much about him. Did not perform too well in the last scenario, was an outstanding player. In the first scenario, let's see if he can also impact the team in the rebuild scenario. Sixth round pick, one of the best I've had, Arlen Lane. I mean, he can be our Stephon Diggs, especially late round pick, Vikings, wide receiver. Let's see if he can perform and be a help for us in the wide receiver core, together with Patrick Dupree and of course Justin Jefferson. Last but not least, punter in round 7, 69 overall. Kick accuracy, well, not the best. Many new additions on quarterback, on wide receiver, O-line. I changed guards in free agency and draft. And defensively, we have new additions on linebacker, on cornerback, especially due to free agency and strong safety, 2 of our draft picks. Also worth mentioning, we have 3 new coaches. Tommy Venable, our new head coach. He was the head coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not the best record, but I really like his intelligence and flexibility. Let's see if he can be head coach. I'm honest, that was not my first choice, but the other one rejected. Frederick Sales, our offensive coordinator, maybe also not outstanding, but he focuses on the pass. Maybe not something we did in the last few scenarios, and I still think Dalvin Cook will have an outstanding year, but it's a passing league first, so I want to have an offensive coordinator who supports that, of course, without ignoring the abilities Dalvin Cook can bring to this team. Defensive coordinator Everett Evans from the New York Giants, who had a pretty good year. He runs a 4-3. That's something I wanted to have for this team. Focus on linebackers. We just drafted a pretty good one. Let's see if he can also improve our passing defense, since this is his main goal on defense. So he was something I think who could fit pretty good into what we want to play defensively. Week 8, and looking at the upcoming free agents, there are not many. Not planning to bring back Dalvin Tomlinson since he wants a lot of money for his 82 overall. Let's see if we can get someone better and or younger in free agency or the draft. But I signed Patrick Peterson to a 2-year deal, heavily front-loaded, so he will earn 20 million next year. That is a lot, and only 11 million after that. Let's see if he can really be a long-term starter. With this contract, we still have 30 million left in cap for next year, but let's see if there are any players we can get rid of in case we need more money. Also worth mentioning, we are 4-2 and have a chance to actually get into the playoffs already in year 2. The season is over and we just barely missed the playoffs. 9-8, pretty good season for this young team, but yeah, just 1 win shy of getting into the playoffs. We are finishing 3rd in our division behind the Bears and the Packers. And looking at the stats, wow, we really improved in terms of pass defense, but not in terms of rush defense. So it's actually the other way around. but I prefer this way in this league. But still, third best rushing offense. Dalvin Cook, 1,800 yards and 13 touchdowns. So that was a little bit less compared to last year. But Bernard Martin, the rookie, outstanding year. More than 4,000 passing yards, 30 touchdowns with only 13 interceptions. Also, 2/3 passes completed. I'm happy with that. Good year, and also 4 passes over 40 yards with his 65 arm. Of course, I mean, he will never be a Patrick Mahomes, but still, outstanding rookie year. None of our new additions had the chance to make an impact in terms of sacks and interceptions. And also, I can directly see John Brinkley, our star rookie safety, not the best year in terms of injuries, I'd say. This time, the Packers lose in the Super Bowl against the Buffalo Bills. No season awards for us. Our rookie quarterback finished second to an actually way better rookie quarterback from the Steelers. Awesome stats. Really, really awesome stats, but still happy with our quarterback. Hinson, the second round linebacker, at least in the top 5 in terms of defensive rookie of the year. Surprisingly, our quarterback is not in the Pro Bowl. Maybe Kyler Murray has a little bit better rushing stats. Dalvin Cook, as always, I mean, not even worth mentioning at this time. But no one else. A little bit surprised, but that was definitely one of the better years. It's a soft rebuild, I would say. We don't need to turn the ship around by completely changing directions. The Vikings have some good players that can really help and accelerate the rebuild. Of course, a good free agency and good draft helps. I think we have a decent foundation for the team. So let's see that we can further improve this rebuild in season 3. The new year starts with a banger. Our head coach, Tommy Venable, was so good with us as the Minnesota Vikings that he decides to leave the Minnesota Vikings to join, well, the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know what's going on there, but nevertheless, he left the team. It says that he joins the Vikings again, but he didn't. Our new head coach is Dwayne Harris, no team before free agent coach. Also nothing too special. I don't know. Would be interesting to have a deeper look in what to look for in coaches, but honestly, I don't care about that too much also at this point. But what I care about are our new additions in free agency. Not many, but I brought back Dalvin Tomlinson for 1 year for a few millions less than what he would have wanted if I just signed him back last season. So he's back for 1 additional year on defensive tackle, and I signed Myron Donovan on a 7-year deal. He has 1 year experience, undrafted free agent, and I mean, he does not cost too much, but I really liked his hands. I was looking for someone as a reliable target, maybe not the best speed, as you can see here, but also for our quarterback. That's not the most important thing. I don't know. I mean, he won't ever see a snap, but I just like to sign such role players with specific strengths. And if we would have been a really, really bad team, I would have definitely tried him out and see what he can do, especially with this work ethic and competitiveness. I don't know. I just liked him. Myron Donovan out of Texas. No other big free agency signings, just backup players to fill up the roster. And I made 1 trade in the draft. After 3 rounds, I just thought, well, I'm done for this draft, and traded away the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round pick together with Chesserat to the Bears for their 1st and 5th round pick. So again, we're having 2 first round picks for next year to operate with. This time I did not know the draft class, but still pretty good outcome. 2 first round picks, 2 second round picks, and 1 third round pick. Anthony Lovejoy was my first round selection, 20 years old. Let's see if Anthony Lovejoy is a long-term solution. Often tight ends need 1 or 2 years in the league to adjust. And I mean, with this name, he can only have a positive impact on the team. Hector Lovery, I mean, you see a pattern in the names. I don't know. But still, the second first round pick, 74 overall linebacker. There were better ones, but I really liked him also due to the scouting grade. He had a scouting grade of 5.04, 8 tackling, and here with an 84 overall. I think that's decent enough for us to make an impact. William Sample was the next pick in the second round. Not the best player, will also not start. I was a little bit blinded by his A run block grade. 87 is outstanding. I knew that he had an F for pass blocking, but that is really, really bad. I was very surprised by my second round pick. Free safety, 82 overall. He will start from day one. Also a receiver in round 2, also not a reach, 76 overall. Quick look at our roster. Offensively, not many changes. Anthony Lovejoy is our new tight end one. A few changes on wide receiver. And defensively, Hector Lowery is starting together with our last year's first round selection, Edward Salcido, and our new rookie free safety also starting. And we have a really big preseason injury. Arlen Lane, our last year's 6th round selection, out for nearly the whole season. And since he's playing on his last year off the contract with his 82 overall, not much impact. 6 touchdowns last year. Let's see if we can bring him back. Week 6, Garrett Bradbury is back and also Justin Jefferson. I really hate negotiating with him, but this time he signed a little bit earlier than in the other scenarios. He's back for 5 years, nearly 26 million. But looking at the other upcoming free agents, not planning to bring back Arlen Lane. I have no option to make him a restricted free agent, and I'm not paying 15 million per year for a player who only played 1 season and is now injured for more than half of it. So maybe a chance to bring him back in free agency. It's really expensive to pay wide receiver 2 or 3. I understand that as a team you want to have your guy on wide receiver 1, the guy that you're paying way too much money, but then you just don't have the cap left to also pay 2 or 3 other guys with 15 million plus. Also, Hassan Reddick does not seem to play up to his potential right now, so that's the reason why I'm not paying him 27 million again. Although he already has 5 sacks on the year, not planning to match that. Also defensive tackle, Michael Pierce, Dalvin Tomlinson, both on the older side, both really good, but also both want to get a lot of money. And in terms of cap, this year I managed it pretty well, only 34,000 left, and I want to be flexible for next year, so not sign too many players back yet, where I'm not yet sure if they're going to be part of the long-term plan. Arlen Lane is also the reason why it makes sense to have rookies on a 4-year contract also for later rounds. I cannot evaluate a 6th or 7th round pick if I only have him on the contract for 2 years. I would be willing to spend more than 500,000 per year, but I want to have those 3 or 4 seasons where I'm able to evaluate them and see if they're really worth the 15 million. Also now many injuries, were 5 and 3 in week 9, but 2 other longer injuries and many players doubtful. The season is over and we're not only winning the NFC North and are in the playoffs, but we're also having a bye week. What a performance, despite losing 3 of the last 4 games, if I'm not mistaken. But at least 1 win against the Packers, also 1 loss. But our rival got a little bit worse, I'd say. Chicago Bears, I traded for their pick and they are 7 and 10, so also not a worst trade. We improved our offense and defense. Hassan Reddick, well, I said I'm going to let him go. Now leading the league with 10 sacks, so maybe I'm trying to make an offer or franchise tag him. Let's see, 89 overall. That, of course, gives me not much choice. I need to bring him back. Patrick Peterson leading the team in interceptions. Dalvin Cook missed a few games. That's why he has not the numbers we used to know from him. But Bernhard Martin just continues his great career so far. 3,700 passing yards, 33 touchdowns, same passing percentage like last year, a little bit improved quarterback rating. So again, an outstanding year from our first round pick. Anthony Lovejoy, our rookie, only with 2 touchdowns and 350 yards. Yeah, I don't know why I'm not able to utilize tight ends that much in this game. I would love to involve them more in the game, but yeah, not really worth it here, since also my passing target is Justin Jefferson. He's by far the best skill player on offense who's able to catch the ball. Our rookie linebacker, also really good year, 8 sacks, 3 interceptions. So not a bad first round selection. But let's head into the playoffs and sim the wild card, since we have the bye week. And now against the Green Bay Packers. Well, what do you know? And we win. That's really great. We're able to win against our rival and are now in the conference championship game. I mean, it's the second year of the rebuild and we're performing really well. And we're in the Super Bowl. I don't believe this. I mean, it's not the best team I've built, of course, and I'm pretty sure our all-in team was better. And I'm also pretty sure we played against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl and lost, if I'm not mistaken. So are we able to win now? Yes! We won the Super Bowl! And just by that, in year 2 of the rebuild. I mean, do I need to rename this scenario? Because that's not a rebuild. Of course, we traded away many players and drafted really good ones like Bernhard Martin. But a rebuild, I mean, need to involve at least 1 or 2 down years. But we got even better than in the all-in scenario. Hard to compare, of course, since playoffs are just always one game, and if you're not performing to the best of your ability, you're out. And this time it worked for us. Martin winning playoff MVP, and our rookie linebacker is winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. Pro Bowl this time without Dalvin Cook. Injuries hold him back. Garrett Bradbury, Justin Jefferson, Marshawn Lattimore, Patrick Peterson, Lowry, our rookie, Michael Pierce, Hassan Reddick, Brinkley, and Evan McPherson in the Pro Bowl. So many Vikings. Well deserved after that year with 12 wins, the bye week, and the Super Bowl. What a performance in year 3 of the rebuild. I cannot believe it. I'm really excited to see where this team is going. So I signed Hassan Reddick back, franchise tag, and it's 32 million. That's way too much. If I would have known that, maybe I would have not signed him back. But yeah, it is what it is. But hard to see how many good free agents are still available after free agency. I made offers for Cesar Ruiz and Chase Young. Both didn't sign, and I don't understand that. I made fair offers and they rather prefer not signing anywhere or for other teams being able to sign them for 500k. I'm not signing them. I mean, I could create a really good team if I just would sign every one of these. But yeah, don't want to cheat here. So we're going into the season with an overpaid Hassan Reddick, nothing new, signed a punter in free agency, made a few moves, traded away Patrick Peterson for a second round pick. I think that's fair. He He's really old, won't extend him, and we have pretty good cornerbacks. And also Dalvin Tomlinson was available after free agency. He was the only player I signed for 500k. So really happy that I did not offer him a contract for 12 or 15 million per year. Super Bowl hangover started in the draft. In round one, I drafted Martin Trujillo, 8th overall. That was the pick we had thanks to the Chicago Bears. He's a 78 overall. I was a little bit blinded by his A speed, 7.02 scouting grade. I thought he was a little bit better, but still will be wide receiver number 2 from day one. And that was my second first round pick, Mark Jones, cornerback, only 71, really good speed. He had an A- scouting grade there. But yeah, the rest needs to be improved, especially the tackling. Let's see if he can replace Patrick Peterson. I mean, he won't play cornerback 1, but maybe 3rd or 4th one. Second round reach. I needed a defensive tackle. I got one, but yeah, maybe not the best. And also the other draft picks in round 3 to 5 are not really the best ones. So first year where we really could not find a big impact player in the draft. Let's see if our wide receiver at least can make an impact to some degree. We are 2-1-1, and both of our tackles are back as always. Both really good players, so keeping the O-line together. But as you can see, as always in year 4, nearly the whole team is leaving. So maybe the rebuild really starts next year. Only 30 million left in cap room for next year. Still currently in negotiations with Hassan Reddick. Let's see if I can bring him back. But other than that, let's see where this team is going also this season. Hassan Reddick is going nowhere. He is back for 2 years, 24 million, so way less than he earns this season. And we just won against the Green Bay Packers and are now first in our division. Season is over. We are 9-6-1. Green Bay Packers with a winning streak of 4 wins. So we're second place in the division. But still, we are in the playoffs. No special year in terms of stats. Pretty much middle of the road everywhere. Bernard Martin took a slight step back. So not the performance he had in the last couple of years. Dalvin Cook also regressing in this scenario, so he's not carrying the team anymore. And as soon as I gave Hassan Reddick a new 2-year contract, he just decided to not produce any sacks anymore, only 6 on the year. So maybe I should have gone after Chase Young a little bit more. But still, we are in the playoffs again, this time against the San Francisco 49ers, and we're out. After a big comeback in the 4th quarter, but still not enough. This time we cannot go into the Super Bowl. After a great year last year, the San Francisco 49ers lose against the Pittsburgh Steelers in a weird Super Bowl. That should be the lowest points ever in a Super Bowl. Dalvin Cook in the Pro Bowl despite the not so good year. And other than that, Brinkley our strong safety, but that's it. After a great year and winning the Super Bowl, we had a little bit of a regression, so let's see what the last season brings. Final year, I signed a new free safety, Sean Davis. We drafted William Dubois 3 years ago, 2 years ago, something like that. He was also pretty good, but Sean Davis signed for a super cheap deal. Awesome personality in terms of work ethic, great overall rating, awesome speed, and also fairly good stats, no sacks, but a few interceptions. He will be our cheap starter on free safety. I traded away Eric Kendricks and William Dubois for cap reasons and signed a few familiar names, Kellen Mond, Alexander Mattison and Dalvin Tomlinson, all back for 500k. Also Chandler Jones and Bobby Okereke. Rookie class also not the best one. Lots of misses here. Best player in the draft is a fullback, drafted him in round 5. Also a great free safety in round 4. Second round pick with 71 overall, wide receiver. I just cannot stop drafting wide receivers. And a defensive tackle in round 1, Ira Stepp. Isn't Ira rather a more feminine name? I don't know. Nevertheless, he will play defensive tackle 2 for us. Not really any changes on offense except from George Knapp, our new fullback. And defensively, Stepp, our first round pick, is starting. The rest of the D-line stays the same thanks to Dalvin Tomlinson's recent decision to not take any money and just sign for $500K every year. On linebacker, we lost Eric Kendricks, but with our former first round pick, Edward Salcido, together with Okereke and Chandler Jones, think our linebacker corp is pretty good. And on safety, Sean Davis, our new free agency addition, taking over for William Dubois. Mid-season mark, we are 4-3, not looking like the best season so far. Season is over, we're finishing 3rd in our division, but still making the playoffs. Wow, what a division. Bears and Packers ahead of us. Great year by everyone in this division, but lucky for us that we are still in the playoffs. Final look at the stats, and offense is really looking good. What a comeback from Bernard Martin, 4,300 yards, 42 touchdowns, great year. Dalvin Cook also bounced back, 700 yards and 18 touchdowns. Also in terms of sacks and interceptions, we improved a little bit. But now the moment of truth, can we win another Super Bowl in the final scenario season? Well, we still have the chance, winning against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, against the Seattle Seahawks, we lost against them in week 18, and we're winning. That's really great. Also, Packers are out. That leaves us with the Chicago Bears in the conference championship, 1 game away from the Super Bowl. Can we bounce back? Yes, what a win! 37-3 against the Chicago Bears, and the Raiders are winning against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now for us the chance to win the 2nd Super Bowl in the rebuild scenario, the 2nd Super Bowl overall in this Vikings series. Are we able to do that? Yes! Minnesota Vikings are Super Bowl champions again! And not only that, but Dalvin Cook wins MVP and Offensive Player of the Year and Playoff MVP. Great season, better than I actually thought when just looking at the stats, but also had some influence in the passing game, 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. And of course, he makes the Pro Bowl as well. Also first time now for our quarterback Martin to be in the Pro Bowl. Garrett Bradbury represents our O-line in the Pro Bowl. Lattimore, Okereke, Lovery, Reddick, Davis and Dixon in the Pro Bowl as well. That shows again how good the Vikings have been in this season. The rebuild scenario comes to an end, and the first 2 seasons actually looked like a rebuild. 5-12 in the first year, trading away good players to get new assets, improved our team. Already in year 2, missed the playoffs, but in year 3, the team was ready to win it all. Young, talented, and Super Bowl winners. Year 4, a little bit of a step back, still made the playoffs, but lost in the first game, just to bounce back in year 5 with another Super Bowl. That's it for the 3 scenarios, but the series is not done yet. There is one more episode coming next week.